Hey everybody, I'm Flying Scorpion, also known as Boozbaz in EVE Online. I'm the CEO and founder of the Matari Moneymakers, a corporation in EVE that's all about flying Minmatar ships and making ISK. Welcome to our July update video. So, Viridian, going to be talking about that. It's just recently been released this month, and with it we've got a lot of new content and features, such as corporation projects and Homefront Operations. There's a lot of other good changes as well, but these two are the most impactful to my corporation. The corporation project system has helped me with communicating goals to members of the Corp and identifying team players in the Corp without requiring them to join fleets. Members can now contribute towards the corporation on their own free time, and we're able to work together as a team across different time zones. So that's really helpful. Thank you for the CCP. That being said, the Corp project system still needs more improvement. For example, there is currently no way to automate the process of reimbursing people for their contributions to our projects. There's also no way to edit the details of a project once it's been started. So let's say, for example, you want to fix a spelling error, or you need to reduce the progress bar because you set it too high by mistake. You have to completely delete the project and recreate it right now. Also, there's no way for me to delegate project management to any of my members without giving them director status in the corporation. It would be better to have more granular control over this, similarly to how there is the new brand manager role. With the brand manager role, you can delegate the responsibility and power of painting your corporation structures without giving your structure artists full director status. I think it should be the same for project management. So if CCP could create a project manager role, that'd be great. So there's plenty of work to do to improve the project system, and from my understanding, CCP is already working on that. I'm just talking about it here in this video because the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So let's talk a bit about Homefront Operations. I have a lot to say about these, but the first thing I'll say is that these are really good. Their payout is decent, they're designed and balanced to be a group activity for about 5 people, which is perfect for a small corp like my own. There's opportunities for players to fulfill a variety of roles, and they push our players to learn, grow, and get better at piloting their ships. We needed something like this. This is a step up from missions on almost all levels. However, I have one particular point of critical feedback on this, and this is primarily based on the fact that I do not understand the reasoning behind this design choice. If you can help elucidate me on this, please, explain in the comment section down below so I can understand. But anyway, my point of critical feedback is about the Homefront Operations pay structure. Take a look at this diagram. This is how Homefront Ops pay based on the number of players in the op. This isn't an intuitive pay structure, and I don't really agree with it. One would intuitively expect that, for example, if you were to go from 5 people to 10 people, or in other words, double the size of your fleet, that you would get a 50% reduction in pay. No, my friends. Doubling your fleet size results in a whopping 87% reduction in pay. It only takes 2 extra people, so going from 5 people to 7 people, to cut the pay by 56%. I think a better paying system is what's currently being used in factional warfare complexes. So let's say, for example, you go into a large Navy 5 complex in factional warfare. You get paid the same whether there's 1 player, 2 player, 3 player, 4 player, 5 player, and then the pay goes down gradually, proportionally, for each additional person. So if you're soloing these sites, you're not gaining any advantage over running it in a group of 5. The pay is still the same. But the sites take longer, they're harder, and you're missing out on the opportunity to make friends and socialize while you're doing it. And if somebody joins you, you're not losing anything. You're not getting paid any less. You run the sites faster, you have safety in numbers, and you get the opportunity to make friends, socialize, and develop relationships with potential allies while you're doing it. Hey there, I'm editing the video and I just wanted to throw in a little extra commentary on this. When we first started running these, we ran them with a group of almost 10 people, and we were really not impressed with how much we got paid. And it severely disincentivizes us now to go with anything more or even anything less than exactly 5 people. So if we are already running these and like 1 or 2 extra people want to join us, there's such a strong disincentive to let them join us that they don't, and they go and either log out or they just find something else to do. And this really prevents us from snowballing and actually gaining more people in our fleet and splitting the fleet up into 2 groups of 5. It's basically have 5 people or go home. And it's I don't think this is actually good for the growth of the social aspect of running these Homefront operations. So I don't think there is a need to disincentivize people to run these solo, because the incentive to team up is inherently already there. Anyway, last month I talked about the corporation's new divisional program, which is really on point to what I was just saying. This divisional program was designed to help me with delegating the tasks involved with running the corporation. In short, the idea was to create 5 divisions, each with their own leader, wallet, and hangar. Each divisional leader would manage a portion of the corporation's money, similar to a hedge fund manager, and the top performing leader would receive 1 share of Matari Moneymakers, and the bottom performing leader would be replaced by the next runner-up on the waiting list. When I formed this idea, I figured that these divisional leadership roles would be highly desirable, but the reality is, I'm having a hard time finding people who even want to take a crack at it. I think the perception our players are having is that being a divisional leader is too much work, competition, and responsibility. In addition to that, I think the incentives that I've implemented have created perverse outcomes. Up until recently, the primary metric involved with measuring the success of the leadership in our corporation has been how much profit each leader has pulled in comparison to the other leaders. All that really mattered for keeping your role as a divisional leader was to ensure that you weren't the lowest hanging fruit in terms of profits at the end of the month. I said in a previous video that human beings will optimize things to the point of killing the fun involved with it, and it's clear that this was an unfortunate side effect of the way I originally designed my leadership system. Also, it begs the question, what makes a good leader? Is it just how much money they can pull in each month? No, there's a lot of other qualities that make a good leader, many of which are subjective and difficult to quantify. So moving forward, our divisional leaders are no longer going to be acting like hedge fund managers pitted up against each other to be the most profitable one for that month. Okay, so for the past month, the Matari Moneymakers has had these divisions. Moving forward, I'm rebranding the divisions to be called tribes. In case you didn't know, the Minmatar faction is made up of tribes that banded together to form the Minmatar Republic. I think it makes sense for the Matari Moneymakers to mimic that by having tribes instead of divisions. Functionally, they're pretty much the same thing, but I think this is better in terms of embracing the roleplay of the New Eden universe. We're going to be changing the wording on the requirements to join the Matari Moneymakers. At the start of June, the wording was no Amarian characters, type something into Discord at least once a month, join at least 3 fleet ops per month, and no piracy, ganking, or extortion of peaceful traffic in Minmatar space. Moving forward, number 1 and number 4 are staying the same, but the wording on number 2, type something into Discord at least once a month, is going to be reverted back to its original wording. Be active on Discord. It's simple but flexible, and it gets the point across. Number 3, join at least 3 fleet ops per month, is going to be changed to be a team player. This wording is subjective, and that's intentional. Personally, I like it when there's a clearly defined right or wrong answer to things, and I'm sure many people in the audience feel the same way. But determining whether or not somebody is a good fit for our corporation can't really be boiled down to a black or white answer. And tracking who has come to how many fleets is too much of an administrative pain in the ass. Because then the person hosting the fleet has to go, oh yeah, I need to send BoozBaz my email address to gain access to the fleet participation tracking spreadsheet, and then I need to remember to copy and paste the fleet members into the spreadsheet every time I host a fleet. This is too much of an administrative pain in the ass, and I think one of the consequences is people are becoming disincentivized to form up fleets because they don't want to have to deal with all that. So we're not doing that anymore. Anyway, we're going to be streamlining the process of finding people to team up with in our player group with a new role on our Discord called LFG, which is short for Looking for Group. The LFG role is an opt-in role available for everyone on our Discord, even people in other corporations. And it enables them to use our Discord to send and receive pings that are tagged with @LFG. Here's some of the benefits of this. Number one, it cleans up the amount of pings on our Discord because you don't need to use the @here or @everyone pings. Previously, there were too many pings happening on our Discord, and if you're anything like me, that just means you mute the server forever and stop paying attention to it. Number two, it allows for asynchronous communication beyond the in-game chat channels. If you only look for people to team up with by using the in-game chat channels, you're missing out on all the people who, for example, might be laying on their couch, scrolling through TikTok, or playing another video game and just waiting for something to happen in EVE Online. Or let's say, for example, that you log off without finding anybody to team up with, and then somebody else logs in right after you and asks if anyone wants to team up to do the exact same thing that you wanted to do. But neither of you would have even been aware of it because there's no retroactive chat history in the game for when you are offline. But there is on Discord. Number three, by using our Discord's public chat channel to look for groups, you reach out to currently around 150 potential people to team up with, which is way more than the average 5 to 10 people online at any given time in our corporation's chat. This also allows us to organically develop relationships with people outside of our corporation. Hey everybody, so I'm finishing the video now, and I just wanted to finish it off with a positive note, and that is to give some shout outs to some of our members. And I'm specifically going to give shout outs to the people who have stepped up into the leadership positions in the corporation. And that's Troopaman, Alex, Jonathan, Ravager, and Uwu Kitty Meow Meow. So thank you all for stepping into these positions. It's good to have you on the Tribal Council. All of you will be receiving 1 share of Matari Moneymakers, and with it, you'll be able to vote on matters and receive dividend payouts at the end of every month for as long as the Matari Moneymakers exists and continues to make profit. So thank you all for stepping up into these positions, and that's it. So I'm looking forward to giving the next update in August. For now, I am BoozBaz, the CEO and founder of the Matari Moneymakers, signing off. Bye.